a remote corner of the South Khorasan region, precisely near the border with Afghanistan, there is an ancient village that is 1,500 years old known as the Dwarf Village, and it is considered one of the 7 most fascinating villages in the world. Experts believe that about a century ago, this village was inhabited by dwarf-like people measuring about 50 centimeters in height. This belief is based on the fact that out of the approximately 200 stone and clay houses that form the village, 70 or 80 of them are extremely low in height. These dwellings, standing at around 150 centimeters, were built without windows and only narrow doors that cannot be entered without stooping down. This village is called Makhunik. Despite being around 1,500 years old, the village showcases architecture that appears to be from 10,000 years ago. In the midst of technological advancements and the passage of time, the simple houses in Makhunik still maintain ancient designs made from natural materials such as wood, mud, stone, and straw. The design of these houses is very distinctive, with features that set them apart from other villages in the surrounding area. The houses are built in depressions on the hillside, with the main living space located about 1 meter lower than the ground level. This often requires stairs to connect the entrance to the ground floor of the house. Despite their small size, the length and width of the houses range from 1.5 to 3 meters, or about 3 by 5 meters, with a ceiling height of approximately 1.5 meters. Although limited in size, each house in Makhunik has customized spaces to meet daily needs. There are small rooms specifically for storing barley and wheat, as well as small stoves for cooking food. Additionally, there are several very small rooms used for keeping animals and storing other equipment. The design of these houses also includes living rooms, bedrooms, kitchens, and even knitting workshops that showcase the villagers' craftsmanship. Interestingly, despite their small and simple nature, these houses can comfortably accommodate an entire family. A house that may only have a few square meters of space can accommodate up to 8 family members. The people of Makhunik apparently do not face issues with their living conditions inside these houses. They have adapted wisely to their environment, utilizing the available resources to meet their daily needs. Although the houses may appear simple and are built with basic materials, the construction process is not easy. As residents of a small town, they have limited access to large domestic animals that are typically used for transporting construction materials. Additionally, the roads in the town are not suitable for the passage of such animals. As a result of these challenging conditions, the residents have to transport building materials by hand over considerable distances, sometimes spanning several kilometers. Therefore, the inhabitants choose to build small houses that require fewer materials and lighter efforts. Furthermore, smaller houses are easier to heat or cool compared to larger ones. The choice to build small houses also serves as a solution for the residents to adapt to the natural conditions surrounding them. In the small town of Makhunik, winters can be very cold, with temperatures dropping below freezing. By constructing smaller houses, the inhabitants can easily and efficiently heat their homes using traditional methods, such as burning firewood in stoves. In 2006, there were approximately 125 families with a population of around 700 people living in Makhunik. It is believed that they were originally Sunni Afghans who migrated to the area hundreds of years ago, where they became isolated and had limited communication with the outside world. They live in a dry, remote, and barren region, making it difficult for plants to grow and livestock to be raised. Radishes, wheat, barley, and a fruit called jujube are among the few types of crops that can thrive there. This area actually encompasses several villages, namely Makhunik, Kafaz, Chapinsar, Tutak, Sofalbend, Lijunak, Kalitbalaj, Damdane, Mishno, Koresto, and Jalaru. The residents of all these villages shared similar characteristics, religion, and lifestyles. Until about 50 years ago, all the inhabitants of these villages did not drink tea or consume meat. The belief that the people of Makhunik had dwarf-like bodies in the past is not only based on the architectural findings in the area. In 2005, a mummified body measuring approximately 25 centimeters was discovered in the region. This discovery led to the belief that this remote corner of Iran was once home to an ancient dwarf city. However, experts later found that the mummy was actually a premature baby who died about 400 years ago. Nevertheless, they argue that previous generations of the Makhunik population were indeed shorter than average. Experts also suggest that one of the reasons why the inhabitants in this area had shorter stature compared to people of their time was malnutrition, which significantly contributed to the height deficiency. The nutritional deficiency was influenced by the dry and remote geographical conditions, which made it difficult for the population to maintain livestock and cultivate turnips, grains, dates, and some other staple crops. The isolated nature of the area also forced the inhabitants to marry within close relatives, allowing the inheritance of detrimental genes from both parents to manifest in their offspring. On the other hand, access to the surrounding cities was extremely challenging, and there were no means to traverse the mountains. As a result, this village remained inaccessible and unknown to the outside world until about 100 years ago, during which time the population continued to experience malnutrition. Fortunately, around 70 years ago, when the area began to be discovered, the government started opening roads to reach the region along with providing food and some other facilities. With connected transportation to nearby towns, the people in this area could reach the nearest cities and consume better food. Young people started going to the nearby cities and returning with money and food, improving the conditions in the village. If previously the average height and physique of the population in this area were short and stocky, now they have grown taller and leaner. However, despite most of the hundreds of current inhabitants of Makhunik having an average height, the reminder of their shorter ancestors still persists to this day.